Right. And Molly, I'm going to make you a co-host. I think that's a really good idea today. I have a little surprise for you guys at the end of this call with Molly. So I'm going to make her Molly there, who is a fan fave too. So, anyways, can everybody see the chat now? Everybody, can somebody put something in the chat for me just to let me know that that's working real quick? Not working. Char Burdick is letting
Still
me
not
know.
working.
Molly, can you look into that and see if, oh, Molly did. Maybe it's just because she's a host. I just turned
It's
it. There we
working.
go. Okay, it's working now. All right. We had to change some settings in there. And so here we are. All right, guys. Today is a special day for me because 4 years ago today, I became a coach for Optavia. 4 years ago today. And it doesn't seem like that long ago, right? It seems like I had given birth to a baby and that baby is now, going off into high school, which I have one of those this coming year. She'll be a freshman. It just seems so fast. And at the same time so long, and I've like impacted so many lives. And that is just the coolest part of all of this is the life change that I've got to be witness to in just that short amount of time, including my own, including my kids, and a lot of other people that I've gotten to help through this. And so I chose this day as leaders. We kind of we put ourselves on a calendar to organize, try to be organized. And I specifically chose this day a long time ago. Like in December, long time ago, before this was even a new year, because it is a special day for me. And I would love to I want to celebrate it with you because this is my favorite call. And I think that it is, as coaches and as clients, it is always, I think, the most important call that we can be on. Clients, we're always clients. We're all clients first. And as coaches, we learn to coach you guys better by listening to our mentors and by listening to other people coach and hearing your voice in this too is really important because we learn to be better because of you. And I say this all the time. Like, I need my clients more than you guys need me every single day because I'm constantly reminded how far I've come. Because I see people on this screen that I'm looking at that have over 100 pounds to lose, just like I did. And I have to be reminded that, oh, yeah, that was me. Oh, yeah, I remember when that happened because we get so lost in like the gap and the gain and like what we've gained, and it seems so far away, and yet it's not. And just like I've been coaching for 4 years now, that 14 months that it took me to lose 135 pounds, like that, right? And so while a lot has changed in that 135 pounds that I lost, and now I guess it's been over 3 years. Now I hit my goal weight in May of 2022. May 4th of 2022, but who remembers those specific dates? A lot's changed. And not just, I think more has changed for me, not just physically, but like emotionally and mentally and all other things that I carried and still do. I still work with, contend for every single day. But I've had some big life changes in the past, year, and I think back to who I was and who I am and who I'm working to become. And I started to look at my kids. And I have two girls, 14 and 11. The 11-year-old has been going on 27 since she was about 2. She'll be 12 next month. But I have a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old little girl and a 5-year-old little boy. And I knew I needed to get healthy when I had that little boy because I knew he was going to want to play and run and all those things that I just didn't want to do. I mean, I wanted to do them, but I just couldn't show up, right? Like I was like, I called myself a sideline mom. And recently I started asking myself the question, just because I am healthy and I am still working towards a goal with my weight, and I have gained weight. Okay, like I'm not perfect. As coaches, we're not perfect. I see Molly and Shar like nodding their heads, right? Like we are not perfect. We are human beings. And the best gift that we as coaches can give you, and the best gift that I can give my kids, is the gift of humanity. I'm not a unicorn, right? I struggle and I let them know that I struggle too, because that makes me more relatable to them and gives them more of a human experience. And so I started thinking about this specifically for my girls, because my girls have seen both versions of me. They've seen me at 292 pounds. They've seen me hit major milestones. They've seen me hit my goal weight. They've seen me have a mommy makeover to get my mother's apron taken off and my breast reduction and lift. They've seen me gain weight. They've seen me struggle now. They've seen me get a divorce. And it's, I have to continue to contend for myself because I'm contending for them, right? And I started asking myself a couple weeks ago, if my daughters lived my life, would I be proud of, would I be proud? If my daughter lived my life, would I be proud or would I be heartbroken? And both, and right? Like, yes, there's so many things that like that, but if she lived exactly how I lived, would I celebrate her? Would I whisper to her like, no, you deserve so much more, right? And that's a both and. But thinking about those things has just really allowed me to be a better mom to them, because for so many years of my life, like I wasn't saying yes to myself, but my body was telling me like, it was screaming, say yes to this, but it just couldn't. It was saying no. I kept shrinking to keep the peace. Would I want my little girls to do that? Or do I want them to find their voice? Well, I was silencing my voice because it made me easier to love. Do I want that for them? Is that who I want them to see? And or opposite is, would I cheer her on for staying when things were slowly breaking her, just because it was a comfortable place to be in? Absolutely not. And so I started to realize like I can't teach them, my girls and my son, to choose themselves until I choose me. And that was the same story that I had at the beginning 4.5 years ago when I started on program in March of 2021, right? And those two things are the exact same, is because I had to choose me to show them that they could choose themselves and to be the healthiest version of themselves. And like I said earlier, I'm not perfect. I am not polished by any means. I mess up all the time. I'm not always confident. Struggle with it. Put on a good face, just like a lot of us. I see Gina Snyder smiling and nodding. She's about to put something in the chat. But I just want to be really honest with you guys, because if there's someone you love, if it's your daughter or your niece or your son or your younger self, holy cow, your younger self, if they watched you living right now, what would they learn? What would they learn from you? And think about that. Like, just write down in your paper, send yourself a text. I do that all the time. Like, I send myself text messages all the time. I have myself pinned on my upper screen. Like, what if so and so that's important to me lived like me? What would they learn? And spend some time on that tonight. Okay, just spend 5 minutes with yourself. It's super uncomfortable to spend time with yourself, by the way, but it is like the most impactful thing you can do for your entire life. And then I want you to think, what needs to change so I can be proud of that person following me in my footsteps. And it doesn't have to be all the things. One thing. Stop beating yourself up. I'm not grabbing my little girls and saying, "You are still not enough." But I do it to myself, right? And if I look at that little girl that I used to be, she's still there, right? Like I said, this is like the coolest fun fact I know. Your eyeballs when you're born are like the same size as they are now. And so, like, these eyes have seen all versions of me, all versions of me. That hasn't changed. They've seen every single story that has happened to me that I had zero control over. Um, and I have to continually remind myself, like, I'm not a fraud. Like, I should have fixed this by now. I was leading a coach call the other day, and I said, like, I had to grieve the person that I hadn't become yet. And that's the version that I'm allowing my kids to see now. And it's really cool because I'm showing them a human experience and I'm not chaotic and going AWOL. If y'all are thinking like, oh my gosh, we're ruining our children. No, I'm not. I'm making better human beings. I had convinced myself that I was okay, that everything was fine, and it wasn't. And I was realizing that I I don't get to lead people into confidence when I was living in so much fear. Fear of like getting to know myself, fear of not showing up for people. And I don't get to ask my kids, do you get to play big when I'm playing small? That's not fair to them. And so I have to show up differently and I had to make some changes and maybe you do too. Maybe you do too. Um, but I want to go back real quick and then I'm going to open up the room. I want to talk about compassion because that's a big deal. I think for like when we can't treat ourselves with compassion for that little girl or young man that we used to be that's seen it all. And I'm not talking like compassion, like bubble baths and those types of things. I'm talking about just like radical compassion for yourself. Um, the kind that's like, no, you're beautiful. You're gonna be okay. The little girl that's inside of you that's not just trying to survive, that is thriving and is present. Okay, that's the person that we want to heal. That's the person we want to comfort,
What?
not the person that you say, sit down, shut up, go over there, which is the person that you look at. You've got to have compassion for that little person inside of you, whether that's a young man or young. I got off. I got off track. Hold on a second. Okay, so 4 years ago, like I just want to talk about how coaching changed my life. I think that's so important. And don't jump off now. This isn't a coaching call or anything like that, but it has become my life has become a vehicle for helping other people. All I do is share my story, and it's not the food. It's not the food that makes you keep the weight off. It's not the food that makes you get healthy. It's not the tracker that you have. It's not the multicolored pencils that you have highlighting your life book and writing things down. That's not what it is. It's not about the notes that you're taking on this call. It's not even about the weight. Honestly, it's not. Um, it's that for the first time, I gave myself permission to live. And part of that was coaching. Part of that was healing the parts of me that needed healing that made me fat. Yes, I used the F word. And if you choose not to do that, if you're choosing only to use the food to get you healthy, you're missing the mark. It's like going to class and not doing your homework. You're going to fail. Like going to class, learning all the information, not showing up for the test. I didn't lose 135 pounds and then decide I was worthy. I decided I was worthy and then I showed up and life caught up with me, right? You have to make decisions that choose you today for who you want to be. Confidence doesn't come by it doesn't come from the mirror. Wish it did. We'd all be really confident people, or maybe not. Like maybe you're the one that walked down and like doesn't look in the mirror. Maybe you still don't. Maybe you still struggle with that. But it comes from those moments that nobody sees. It comes from those moments of you sitting here on the Zoom screen with me, that you're struggling, that you're tearing up, that you're choking back tears because like you're connected with this. Those are the things that change when you choose not to quit, when you choose to pick up the phone and call your coach and be like, oh, I ate a brownie, not an Optavia brownie. When you choose to feel like you're back to ghost your coach because you've been off track. It's picking up the phone and choosing to be honest with yourself because your coach is not disappointed in you. You're disappointed in your own self. It's about showing up and choosing you. My daughters, well, I don't need a perfect mom. They don't. They need somebody that's bold enough to show up every single day. They need me. They need me healed. They need me rested. They need me peaceful. They need me awake to them, and they need me present because I wasn't shown in that version of me 4 years ago or last year. And I'm moving into that space now again. Coaching changed my life in so many ways. I would not be where I am today. And I'm so eternally grateful, thankful, blessed. You put a word on it that is a glowing review for what coaching has done for my life. And I just can't, I never saw it coming. I started coaching to pay for my box. Oh, 135 pounds to lose. Do this. I was driving through McDonald's and Whataburger and Chick-fil-A and Taco Cabana and spending $17 to $19 on food for myself every single day. I knew how I was going to do it. I just needed to not do that. Right. And, but it's what we tell ourselves. And I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful for every single face that I see on the screen. I'm so thankful for all of my friends I have made from coaching. You all have all changed my life. Every single one of you has impacted me and allowed me to step up to the plate, step up as a leader. I never thought I'd be leading. How many people are on here? This call 349 people. I've stood on stages in front of thousands. Didn't think that was coming. And I think sometimes you guys say, oh, I don't want to coach. I could never be like Rebecca said. Good. We don't need another one of me. We want you to be you. And I didn't think that that would be my calling or my choices to make, to do that, to put a microphone in my hand, to lead you all and to grow into the space that I am today. That's been a choice I've made. And it was the best choice I ever could have made outside of having my 3 babies, 100%. So plug for coaching there. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But I'm always open to answer questions about that because sometimes I think it's all a lot of self-image stuff, and I have it too and had it, that just stopped me in my tracks a lot of times. So I'm going to stop the recording now and just open up the room. Now, coaches, I ask just respectfully that you have all of me that you ever want all the time, and reach out to me privately if you have a question or need something, please. But I want to keep this call, specifically for clients. So if you're a coach already, I'm just going to ask that you not come off mute right now. And I do want you to pour into people in the chat and love and support them. But I do want to save this space for people that are, having humongous wins as a client, or who are struggling as a client too. And let's just cheer them on in the chat. So again, if you're a coach, please, I love you to pieces. And again, you have all of me that you want. So I'm going to stop recording, and I want to,